morning. I don't want to know the price I'm gonna pay for dreaming. Even now it's more than I can take. Tell me, how am I supposed to live without you? Now that I've been loving you so long. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. My leg is the same. They canceled my vein appointment this morning because it is snowing in Alabama, and we do not know how to handle the snow here. There are no snow trucks like in New Jersey. Absolutely none. So I have the compression socks on and my leg is pretty much the same. Thank you for asking. I took yesterday off. Today I'm working from home because of the snow. And so I have to put my face on because I have calls today and people have to actually see my face. So I'm just gonna try to get ready for the day here. I don't want to know the price I'm gonna pay for dreaming. Now that your dream has come true, tell me, how am I supposed to live without you? Now that I've been loving you so long. That was the last album I bought my dad before he died. So I want to just tell you guys that I am wearing, I don't ever do a what's Jamie wearing thing because nobody really gives a shit what I wear. Thank you, Irene McCormick. I'm wearing a bodysuit from the Gap. I don't know if you can see that, but this is a new bodysuit from the Gap, size small. It fits true to size. I'm a 6, so if you're a 6, you would be a small. And I'm wearing a bodysuit with leggings. Who the hell do I think I am? I don't know. Okay, the answer is I don't know. So anyway, I was supposed to go to the vein doctor today, as you guys know. But they canceled my appointment because it's snowing, so I have to try to get in where I fit in, and hopefully they can take me fairly quickly because I need an ultrasound on my leg. So for those of you who think you're too old to wear bodysuits, you're not, and they're super warm under sweaters. And I also don't like sweaters touching my skin because everything itches me. I've been that girl since I don't send out any friend requests. If you got a friend request from me, report the page. It's a fake page. So what was I just telling you? Oh, about the bodysuit. So I don't like sweaters touching my skin. I never have. I was one of those kids. I used to drive my mom crazy because I was one of those kids that I would be like, it's touching me. The sweater's touching me. My mom would be like, oh my gosh, just wear the sweater. I'm looking for my tweezer. It's snowing everywhere. Meanwhile, Mother Nature is oh, y'all wanna start something? So anyway, I hate sweaters. Even if they're soft, I don't like them touching my skin. It freaks me out. It's not like OCD. It's just, I just don't like it. I never have. I always had to wear shirts under my sweaters. And my mom didn't really have any fashion sense, so she always put me in turtlenecks. So anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about breakups. Okay? I have a lot of messages in my inbox from people who are going through breakups. I have best friends going through breakups. I know so many people right now going through breakups. And everybody wants the quick fix. How do I get over this? How do I stop hurting? How do I heal my heart? And Carrie Bradshaw once said, if you love somebody and you break up, where does the love go? The love goes nowhere. The love sits right on your face and suffocates you. The love goes absolutely nowhere. So sure, you're dealing with other feelings and emotions like disappointment and pain and hurt and sadness and whatever, right? But the love itself goes absolutely nowhere. And what happens is you get far enough away from the pain and disappointment and the love pops up and goes, hey, remember me? I'm still here, right? What happens when you try to convince yourself that a relationship was all bad? Your brain gets very confused. Your brain goes, wait a minute, I loved this person. Why are we now your brain is trying to convince your heart that the relationship was all bad, and the heart gets very confused and stops trusting itself. Wait a minute. So I can't be trusted because I loved someone that my brain is telling me was all bad? No. We need to start getting really honest about what was good and what was bad in a relationship. Because the go-to to try to get over someone or get past a relationship is to try to only think about the things that hurt you. But the truth is that none of us get out of here alive. Literally, none of us get out of here alive. And in friendships or romantic relationships, it is okay to say, I still love this person, but it is time for me to go. We don't have to paint everybody as bad to move on. It is okay to move on from good people. I know that every meme on Instagram would have you believe that unless somebody is bad or has done bad things to you, then you're not allowed to move on. I have had people say to me, if you ever left Michael, you'd be crazy to leave him because he's so good. Well, I think, sure, I see why people would think that, and he is good. But sometimes the most loving, beautiful thing you can do is let people go, even when you aren't 100% ready to do it, before things get bad, before things become toxic. right? And to my beautiful friends who have written me, and Coffee Talk family who have written me messages about painful breakups, I want you to know that I have lost many a women in my life. Friends whom I have loved very much, who I have had to move on from long before I was ready. And the love doesn't go anywhere. The love I had for them and have for them is real, and it formed over time. And it grew and it blossomed and it changed and evolved, and it did all the things that love can do. But sometimes you go, okay, this person isn't good for me. They're not safe for me. So I need to move on from that. It doesn't mean it's easy, and it doesn't mean you don't love them, and it doesn't mean that the love wasn't real, you know? And there are women that I love, friends that I loved very, very much, who I still love, but I cannot have them in my life. And that is a very hard pill to swallow. But I want you to know that when I learned to say, it's not my story to tell, I learned how to move on without making people the enemy and the bad guy. Because that is what we are inclined to do, right? Is make somebody the villain in our story to justify why we are moving on. It takes a long time to get over love. Sometimes you never get over the love. You eventually get over the pain, but you never get over the love. There are people that you will have loved in your life that you will always love. Christy, if they are the villain, then this conversation doesn't pertain to them. That's not what I'm talking about. Sure, there are people who are the villains, but a lot of times we feel conflicted. This person isn't right for me, so why do I still love them? Why do I still care what happens to her? Why do I still check on her to make sure she's okay if I know she's not right for me? Well, because sometimes the love doesn't go anywhere. Sometimes the love stays right where it is. So you get over the hurt and you get over the pain and you move on from that, but you don't ever get over the love. There are people that I love right now that I haven't spoken to in years, and I still love them and will always love them. Sure, there are people I love that I don't love anymore. I don't even know how I love them. Like, literally, I look at them and I go, how did I ever love you? I don't understand. You are not worthy of my love. You're worthy of God's love, but you were not worthy of my love. Why did I ever love you? You were abusive and crazy and horrible to me. There are people listening to this right now who desperately need to let go of a friendship, of a love, of a marriage, of a whatever. And you feel like because you still love them, you can't let go. And the truth is, you absolutely can. Stop trying to convince yourself that you have to be void of love to move on. You would be subhuman if you could turn love on and off like a light switch. Like, oh, don't love you anymore. Oh, wait, just kidding, still love you. Not real. And I'm not talking about trauma bond. That is a completely different thing, although very real. But I sat in bed this morning reading messages from you guys and drinking coffee. And there are at least, and I'm not kidding, 50 messages from people who are trying desperately to move on from a broken heart or to move on from the end of a friendship. And I will say this to you. You have to discern love that is safe for you. And if the love is not safe for you, then it is perfectly okay for you to say, I love this person, but I have to move on. Or, I know that it is hard. Oh, you can definitely love someone and not be in love with them. Absolutely. But there are so many of you that are heartbroken, truly heartbroken. And you want to be free of that pain and you want to move on so bad and you don't want to cry anymore and you don't want to feel anymore and you just literally want to be over it. But that's not how healing works. And I want you to know that I see you and I love you and I validate everything you are feeling. And everything you are feeling is real and hard and painstaking and I just know how many of you are going through it right now. And listen, I do believe that sometimes distance can bring clarity to friendships, to love, to breakups. Sometimes you need to be apart for a month or 2 months or take a break, right? Or a time out and look back and go, okay, what was working for me and what wasn't? Sometimes you need to just move on. And sometimes you can go back to the friendship and say, listen, there was a lot of good here. A lot of good here. And we got off on the wrong, we moved into a weird space, into the wrong space. Can we go back to what was good and try to rebuild from there? Right? I have held on to friendships and asked very bravely, can we please keep going? Can we find a way to keep this friendship going? Please. Can we salvage this? And sometimes you get a yes, I would love that. And sometimes you get a no, it's time for me to move on. And by the way, when someone bids you farewell in a loving way, I know how painful it is to be set free. I know how painful it is to have someone that you love tell you that they need to move on from you. It is excruciating. It is a void that you are like, what is happening here? Where are you going? There is still love here. There is good stuff here. Why are you leaving me? I know that feeling. I've done it to people and people have done it to me. I will tell you that it may take a while, but you will. I promise you, you will move on. You will get over, you may not ever lose the love, but you will not hurt this bad forever. The gift of grace that God has given us is time. We don't have a lot of it, but time really does give us healing. I remember, for those of you who have been with me a long time, I remember, okay, look at Lorianne and I. Look at Lorianne and I. I was so hurt by her ghosting me. I didn't think I would ever get over it, and the love never left. The love never left. I loved her every day that I had to heal from her leaving me as much as I did the day she left me. And when she came back, I didn't know why God brought her back, but I believed that it was right and that we should go back. And we did, and we are in love, and there is real grace and real forgiveness and real healing. And we got each other through so much, and I was able to be there for her when she had cancer, and we were able, there's so much there now. And that is an example of having to accept that someone has to move on from you, but knowing that the love didn't go anywhere. The love was still there. And then I have other friendships that you guys have been with me, where they were my friends, and I've had to move on from them, and they are not my friends anymore, but there is still love. I don't bash them. I don't say bad things about them. I don't bring them down or wish them evil or anything. I just knew that it was time to move on. And so, to anybody who is going through it right now, I know it's hard. I know it's hard. And I read all your messages, and I am carrying it with you, and I know how heartbroken you are, and I know how tired you are of feeling sad, and I know how much you miss them, and I know how hard separation is, and I know that there was good stuff there. And I know that maybe you wish you weren't in you weren't in this predicament. Some of you chose it for yourselves. Some of you, it was chosen for you. But I just want you to know that if there is still love there, that is okay. That is healthy. You don't have to hate to move on. You don't have to vilify someone to move on. That's all I want you to know. And it's okay. If they are the villain and they did horrible things to you, that's a different story. But if you still have love for someone and you know you need to move on, it's okay to say, like, I still really love this person and they are good. They are good. And we had a lot of good. They're just not good for me. But I'm reading your messages, and I know you're hurting, and I know it's hard to move on when you still have love. Believe me, I know. All right, I'm going to go finish getting my life together. I love you, truly. Have a great, great day.